just wanting to rub his face in it because we're getting another one, baby.
Oh boy, what a treat we have in store for us. Game 1, Polaris against T1 in the lower bracket finals. Daniel, who's got this? Who's going to be able to take this game 1?
I'm going to say I'm feeling Polaris a little bit here. I really feel like they're going to be able to catch out that Necro. I feel like they've got the burst damage to be able to deal with the Morphling, and well, Axe has that little bit of a dazzle counter. Let's see how good Force is. He's been playing some pretty good Dota over the past week.
I am very intrigued to see how the matchup's going to fare with an Undying core against the Sky. We mentioned in the draft, but this has traditionally been known as a good counter with the Sky into the Undying as to support the support matchup. I don't know if this is going to be any different at all, so I'm going to keep a little bit of attention over to that, because I do really feel like Ana will be like, you should be able to slow down the Axe. Again, this is a melee strength hero that really suffers into the Undying, so we'll see if that's going to be the case, because that is a lot of their playmaking capability on Polaris. Like, you do have Lelouch playing the Death Prophet, who can get involved with the Exorcism, but it is more of a cooldown dependency. Like, when this is on cooldown, you're going to struggle with taking objectives, so it's really on the Axe blink for them to be able to get active and find those kills with the Mystic Flare.
The battle begins.
Need to get active. I've started. You can't stop me.
Okay,
they get
so
the Battle
this...
Hugger off onto Zephyr. Oh, no, they're not going to chase him down. Just using Xavius with that good attack speed, attack range, as well as movement speed to be able to start harassing down Zephyr a little bit here. I just want to touch on the wards that have placed down previously. The entire Radiant, I'm going to call it a biangle, has been blocked off here. It's not a triangle, man. There isn't a small camp anymore.
I get it.
And that sentry's just out of range as well of both sentry wards as well. So Xavius knew what was going on, but he's just off by that much.
Well, we do see that T1, they've swapped the lanes. Ana's going to go bottom, played with Wymon. So they're avoiding the Skyreth Mage and the Axe lane as well. So we'll see how this is able to shape up with Ana matching up against the Arc Warden, a hero that we have not seen in a very long time.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to go against the Necro as well, though, right? Necro is another one of those heroes that does actually like to spam out a fair few abilities in the lane. Sure, at least it's going to heal him a little bit with a Death Pulse, but if you're just feeding a lot of that spell usage into a Skyreth Mage, he's still going to be super happy. So I feel like Xavius could probably get away with just being a little bit greedier in this lane. You can see he's already got the Null Talisman queued up.
Yeah, I think this lane will be fine for Force. If you ever get in a tricky situation, you can just look to start pulling the wave and kind of cutting with the jungle camps as well. And that might be able to open up Xavius to help secure some of the runes for Lelouch on the Death Prophet and taking away out of the hands of Thompson as well. He has once again gone into the bottle for the mid Morphling, so I think we will need to see a little bit of priority put on Polaris' support to try and help out Lelouch.
Just wondering how they're actually going to play this. Like, is this going to be another game where Thompson goes back into the jungle, starts to be that really greedy mid laner, and of course you've got Ana playing the unconventional carry again, just wanting to stay in lane, create space, create a lot of havoc, but it really feels like it needs to be around, hold on, top side. Zephyr's a little bit of a dive happen against Force, but don't think he'll be too successful. You need to be playing around, I would say, Clockwork hitting up onto that level 6. There aren't going to be too many kills that happen outside of that, I wouldn't think. This is this thing where you're not playing one of these, Puck or Spirit heroes in the mid lane. You need to rely on someone else to do a lot of the initiating for you. And, well, Clock's one of the better ones, but you need to wait in order to make it happen.
Those look like with bottom lane, Ana's having a pretty goddamn good time at the moment. 9 and 8 compared to the 8 and 6 on Natsumi. He's got a full wave under the tower as well here for the Undying. See, those look like at least with how they've been able to set themselves up.
The biangle's being invaded a little bit.
We are not doing this. It's not going to be a thing.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Zephyr might be in trouble if Force can get the Battle Hunger out. Got concussive shot up shortly as well. Xavius can definitely chase him down. The Cogs will hold him back. They got the ward on the high ground as well, but he's not going to look to reveal that. So nicely done, Xavius. At least zoning the Clockwork away, doing as much damage as what Zephyr was pumping out.
feel like he did reveal. I thought I saw one right click where he probably shouldn't have had vision there on Xavius, but I mean, just look at the buy angle at the moment. There are 3 sentry wards placed there now by Xavius. They're really just wanting to secure that early farm. They know how important it is to get Force to have the most amazing game possible, right? He is the one that's going to be providing a lot of this utility against, in particular, the Necrophos.
So finally getting some stacks going as well. Already a triple at the Ancients and a double at the Hard here for Polaris. So again, Force is very much struggling versus the Necro. This is kind of where I was expecting him maybe to be considering about starting to drag the wave and avoiding Cuckoo in the lane, because he's having a great time. I guess the mid matchup though for Lelouch, he's having a very good time versus Thompson. And keep in mind, this is a Mac Death Prophet. You're back with his old name. He was someone who would play the Death Prophet to an incredible level.
Yeah, very, very confident, and well, the hero's just gotten stronger since then, so expecting big things out of him, but I mean, we've seen Thompson be able to do some amazing things as well. The individual plays, that great Sunstrike play yesterday, even though it wasn't enough to take down Talon, those moments of individual brilliance are why they've given so much emphasis towards getting him onto this team. Another stack coming through here.
Cuckoo, is he going to miss a whole wave under the tower or keep trying to bully out Force? He actually wants to try and prevent the Axe from dragging the next wave. So Cuckoo's not going to be getting a lot of gold and experience out of this. And we'll go back recognizing that. Doesn't want to miss out on too many creeps up here to farm.
Did you see that? He planted the tree as well when he went for that escape up top here. So it would have been a very nice kill. Obviously, First Blood interrupting the TP on Force, but he gets straight back to the lane.
And where are we expecting that First Blood to come from? Are we looking for maybe like a power rune or level 6s potentially coming out from some of the mid laners, or some rotations out of the supports?
I still think it's going to be at least until the 10-minute mark. You've got, like I was saying before, Zephyr, who needs to hit up onto that level 6 mark before you can make any aggression happen. That's the downside of playing with this Morphling. And it's not like having the Arc Warden either is going to make things super easy. Maybe Death Prophet with the early level 6 can look to force a little bit more pressure onto one of the side lanes, but that'd be the absolute earliest.
Top lane.
A little bit of danger. He'll back off though.
I try and put some pressure on Force. In fact, he's going to turn around with the call. Not getting lucky at all with the spins.
Not really going for the kill there. Yeah. I mean, he just wanted to make sure he secured that range creep and didn't get them denied. Like I was saying before, it's all about just getting that early farm, that early experience, making sure the Axe is set up to have a great game, and that's why Zephyr's always positioning himself towards the buy angle. He always wants to make sure that he's in a position to be able to prevent that farm from happening.
In the top lane, here we go. Finally, they're going to look to rotate Lelouch. He's got the Exism ready to rock and roll for our first kill and our first ultimate of the game, as Cuckoo will be able to TP out before secures the kill onto Zephyr. And now they can put some pressure into the tier 1 tower top.
They pop the tombstone to bottom, but they're not going to get too much value out of that one either. So, well, is this tower going to be fine? They're going for a little bit of a dive here onto Natsumi, and he's going to get out, realizing that there's no stuns to be able to stop him from making his great escape. So just even goes back to the tier 2 tower, not wanting to leave the lane entirely, just wanting to wait out the duration of that tombstone. And great first exorcism coming through. Mac, aka Lelouch v Britannia, coming through here and making his rotation up towards the top on his great Death Prophet.
Yeah, I thought his rotations might be a little bit difficult this game on the Death Prophet, just because if he left mid, then it would free up the lane for Thompson to start right-clicking the tower. Yeah, and maxed out Agi Morphling with all the damage and attack speed, you can do a decent chunk of damage into the tier 1 tower. So I was a bit hesitant on how his rotations would shape up from Lelouch, but instantly TPing top, they get the kill, they convert on the tower, and Thompson was back in the jungle farming. So Polaris, no damage done into their own tier 1 tower mid.
Yeah, I feel like maybe he wouldn't have committed quite as heavily if it wasn't for the First Blood. Obviously it's still worth it, but to get First Blood and a tower off the back of that.
Oh no, no,
they're stealing it.
You can't let Thompson take it all. You got a couple of creeps.
You got the Vanguard finished up on Force, so that's a plus side.
They're TPing behind Thompson. It's just the Primal Beast. Not too much pressure is going to be put onto the Morphling for the moment.
Silence?
They do get the silence out. The attribute shift's going to be there fast enough. Topson can reposition with a waveform, but it's going to be on Cuckoo to turn it around in the team fight. The Scythe is there to secure with a kill onto AU, the first charge of the game. But now you don't have the ultimate to deal with the Death
Ooh,
Prophet, but it does not matter as Topson blows him up with the maxed out point in the waveform. This is a gigantic team fight for T1. They get 2 kills, and now they can go back and claim some of the stack as well. A great movement coming up from T1 early.
It is indeed, and something that I didn't even notice is how low Natsumi has been on the net worth. He is a big chunk below any of these other core heroes right now. Just in this solo lane against Ana, you know you don't want to leave the Undying solo because, you know, this is Ana's style of hero, right? All you need is 2 items to truly come online, and that's going to be the case with the Echo Saber into the BKB. Ana's just going to start running them and let Topson be the one to truly scale.
They might be able to put some pressure on him now, though, with the TP in from Xavius.
You
See what they can do with the Tempest double. I'm not sure. They potentially feel like if Ana gets out of position, they might be able to get the kill. Or unless they think that maybe T1 are going to get aggressive with their next movement down bot, and Xavius is just predicting this.
They reblocked up the Ancient camp, by the way, so again, just a little bit more difficulty. I mean, on the plus side, the tier 1 tower top is gone, so Force has that ability to play around that area a little bit more safely. It's all on the back of Lelouch, of course. Let's see if he gets lucky this time around. All right, this is the first power rune that he was actually able to claim. Previously, Topson just happened to guess the 50-50 correctly, and it resulted in, I believe, an arcane rune plus something else that I forget now, but you get the regen coming through from Lelouch, so might be looking to make a play around this next exorcism. He's got a point available if he wants to put it into the silence. Let's see if he's in a position to go onto the Morphling.
Bottom lane, that's where the play is going to be coming out shortly. Zephyr's got level 6 smoked up, ready with the hook shot. Ana nearby as well. Only 1 point in the tombstone, but they are ready to fight on T1. They're going to go for Natsumi instead. A beautiful angle from Zephyr. Slides on forward, catching out Natsumi in the lane. And now they can look to put some damage into the tier 1 tower. They've got the catapult. It is beating onto the jungle, so Whitemon's going to be up to the duty of trying to kill off the creeps to bring the catapult down to help out with the push.
Eventually did get it, but yeah, here we go. Push into the bottom side, committing Zephyr onto the front lines. This is all that it was around, right? That level 6, that was the big timing that T1 were looking to go for.
Morphling with the chain silence, it might be enough damage. Topson just gets away. Strength tread saving lives. And meanwhile, top lane though, Cuckoo is in some trouble here as well. Force trying to close the distance to land the call, but Cuckoo gets a bunch of bonus health back. Without the T1 tower, no one can TP in to protect the Necro, so they're going to even bring another member on Polaris to try and surround the position 3 of T1. He'll make him work for it, but in the end, they will finally be able to secure with a kill. A big one to slow down the Necro's game.
But this is probably just as important, right? That mid T1 tower, it's being left relatively undefended. TP's coming in from various different angles on Polaris just to make sure that doesn't happen. Obviously, that first stack was stolen inside of the... just got to call it the buy angle again. But it's still important for Force to get back there and make sure that he's able to accelerate his farm because you're falling behind in all 3 lanes right now.
Now, in regards to the position...
They changed for Polaris, sorry, just with Blink Dagger. It's only 400 gold away. Once you get that, they'll be looking to make many plays happen with Xavius here. Ancient Seal into the Mystic Flare onto either the Morphling or the Necrophos is going to be the key.
And that reveal needs to happen around the mid lane. You're looking for a pick-off into a tier 1 tower. It can't just be a kill on a side lane where you don't get an objective out of it. And for T1, they're looking for their own play. Zephyr and Whitemon, the duo supports, moving towards the secret shot. Force is not an easy kill, especially with Natsumi positioned behind the axe, so they're just going to look to TPR. Mystic Flare dropped on Zephyr, but he'll successfully escape. A beautiful read from T1. As soon as they see multiple members, they recognize that they cannot continue to play aggressive.
And they commit the Exo as well. Lelouch isn't even going to be able to bring this into the mid tier 1 tower. So if you had that Exo alongside Force with this Blink Dagger, again, 150 gold away, they would have been able to surely take a kill, be able to convert that into a tower and invade this dire jungle that is so much more effective for the greedy mid farmers. All the while, Ana's just been sitting down bottom. Just no cares in the world. Echo Saber finished up. I'm assuming he's just going to want to get that BKB ASAP, right? So that he can disassemble the Echo Saber and have that slightly quicker timing to be able to get active and be that frontline presence, because no one outside of Zephyr really wants to be that right now.
This is it now for Polaris. You have this blink completed on for Force. Mystic Flare about to come off cooldown as well. So they're going to look to smoke, but you don't have... If you get a kill, you can't convert into a tower now without the Exo. So you're looking for that prime target in Ana down bottom. Beautifully done from Whitemon's going to be able to de-ward.
They see Cuckoo.
That will protect him.
You've got Whitemon behind, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to be able to protect. If they could get the Morphling, that would be even more ideal. They're just going to be trying to read Lelouch's positioning. Do they know? Do they have some kind of kill attempt that they're going to be looking to go for? Might even be baiting Natsumi in this lane a little bit, but he TP'd back.
No. Pops him with the invis, scouts the movement out, and now Zephyr's going to be able to get the jump in as well. Thompson off to the left side, can easily follow up, and that's not the blink reveal you're looking for at all on Polaris.
Did he even blink though? Did they know? Because he was the one that got hookshot. Well, you never know. I feel like the way that they were playing was very conscious of the fact that, look, Axe hasn't had item progression in quite some time. He's going for the blink. They know that that's where the Morphling and the Necro are vulnerable, so they probably know. But, you know, I'm just trying to find a little moment of optimism here for Polaris, because it's not looking good right now.
Now, before we mention the Undying and how much fun that Ana's been getting down bottom, but his counterpart in the Arc Warden is very much struggling on Natsumi. Bottom of the net worth, out of the cause, working on the Maelstrom as his first item. But what else are we expecting out of the item build here for the Arc Warden? Because I have not seen him for quite some time, and I've heard kind of the rumors about this, your spell-casting, crazy Scepter build as well.
Well, into the Aghanims and stuff like that.
Kinda, yeah. I don't particularly know if that's you're more of a like European style of the build, or if Natsumi's going to go down that route. But what do you feel like might be the case here for the Arc?
It's been the plague of my pubs, I'll tell you that much. But, I mean, any kind of spellcasting style is going to be pretty good against the Necro, right? At least until he picks up the Lotus Orb. You just want to make sure that you're able to get those slows in onto him and enable the Primal Beast, enable the Skywrath, enable the Axe to be able to provide that little bit of extra damage coming through. So I wouldn't hate to see him go at least to begin with, because you have the Death Prophet that's going to be able to provide you with a little bit of push. Go for another kill attempt here. Oh, the Tumbler's Toy mid into the Mystic Flare.
Whitemon, great positioning. Is able to find the Grave off, and they don't have enough damage to chop him down, so Cuckoo's going to get some health back for the moment, but Lelouch, he's charging onto the tier 1 tower. The Scythe is not enough to secure the kill, but with Ana moving on over to join the team fight, it will slowly be able to bring down the Death Prophet. Polaris, they don't have the capability of joining the DP underneath the tier 1 tower, so once again, tier 1, they will waste another exorcism usage out of the Death Prophet and also the blink from Force.
Alright, so now they've got the blink reveal coming through. Now they're 100% certain. It was a good attempt. It's exactly what they needed to do. I want to give big props to Whitemon as well, though. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get a replay of that, but what I want you to focus on, if we can, is just how he's using the Shallow Grave, specifically how the heal amplification aspect is now a factor. You know? Might be going down on the bottom side. Probably will be.
This is the big issues with a hero like the Axe. You go this blink second item, and if you do not get kills, your game can really start to fall behind. He's doing okay. I mean, I guess you take a look at the counterpart. He's almost 1,000 behind his offlaner, but T1, they have this lineup where...
Sorry, hold on. I just want to talk about this replay. So they get the hook, they get everything off here, but look at how he uses the Shallow Grave. He uses the Shallow Grave and instantly gets the heal afterwards. He's using it like the additional heal bonus just to put him out of that Culling Blade range. That was really next level plays coming through from Whitemon to make sure that this Axe counter wasn't actually a counter.
There's something you would always expect in a draft. You pick the Axe to be able to deal with this Dazzle Grave. Zephyrs, this is a interesting position for Clockwork to be in. Going for a solo pick off onto Xavius, just looking to make as much space as possible. It's probably going to reveal that there's a ward nearby. Yeah, there you go. There's the D ward, but...
They got the tower. They're going to be happy about that. And they're going into the Manta style first on Thompson as well. So previously we've seen him go into the SNY. This time around, very important, of course, for him to have that against the multiple silences that they've got on Polaris. So, like the item build, like the gameplay coming through from T1, they're just reading Polaris like a book right now.
Yeah, if they don't convert on this next move from Polaris, this game is just going to get out of hand. Like, you do kind of have this late game potential of the Arc Warden. Sure, they might have some difficulties with being able to get on top of him and deal with the Arc, considering they were very instant on the last pick. They feel like it's an ideal game, but T1 with this 5,000 net worth lead, if they win another team fight, all of a sudden you're going to be considering about Roshan. Then you've got the Aegis advantage to start chasing down objectives. And yeah, this game one could be over very fast after that.
So I feel like, unless you exactly know where Whitemon's positioned, it's going to get even harder, right? He's got now 2 points of the Shallow Grave, so even more heal amp per little bit missing. He's going into the 4-staff. I understand why, just to be...
Caught out the clockwork, so a decent kill. Second cull of the game as well. Keep in mind, you get a little bit of armor off the back of that. They're going to try and TP down to deal with Thompson, but T1's read in regards to the core's positioning have been very solid through this game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, it's going to get to this point where the 4-staff is good against the Skywrath, of course, and all of the different lockdown that they've got. I really want to see him get a Holy Locket on Whitemon, just to provide that burst heal, and it's going to get even more impactful once you get that Shallow Grave maxed out. When he used it previously, it was just the 2% heal amp. Now it's up to 6, soon it'll be 8. And, I mean, it's just so impactful for how much you're able to dodge out that Culling Blade damage.
T1, they're on the hunt. Smoked up as 3. Looking to try and get some control down by the triangle as well. A successful team fight will net them Roshan. Have this capability thanks to the Flesh Golem along with the Tombstone. So Polaris, they have to be perfect, and the DD is going to make that much easier. Smoke will pop though, so they see Thompson in the river.
Almost feels like you have to go first on the Primal Beast to try and fight Whitemon just to start the fight.
They're already moving to
great
force. What a jump! He gets the claw, but the damage is just not there. Thompson's repositioned. The Morphling's going to be okay. They'll kill off 2 members on Polaris, and now they'll swarm towards the remaining members' location as AU stuck inside the pit. A scythe to bring him down. And it's all T1's ball game now. 3 kills into the Aegis advantage. This is looking really scary for Radiant.
It is indeed. That double damage coming in clutch there for Thompson being able to turn it around, but it's really the heals coming through. Look at this. They don't get Cuckoo. They don't get Whitemon. They don't even get Ana completely, where he's able to, you know, drop the Tombstone, get the Soul Repeal off of the Flesh Golem, of course. He's just way too tanky right now. I feel like you need to wait around levels. You're still level 9 on the Skywrath Mage. Maybe you need to wait for that level 12 just for that additional 400 damage.
You can't wait though. Like, this is a combo that's supposed to get kills. It's supposed to get pickoffs. That's where you get your levels from. Like, you're not going to be farming here from the Skywrath Mage, so it's... And imagine how long it's going to take for you to get those levels with the change in 7.32.
Maybe you need to change your priorities then. You know, realize that you probably can't kill a core at this stage. You've got the magic resistance on Cuckoo from the Hood. You've got multiple forces up on the team. You've got Thompson with his Aegis on the Morphling, and Ana feels almost unkillable with how tanky he is on the Undying. So even a support could be value. It's not the greatest cooldowns to expend, the Blink Core plus the Mystic Flare.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Sages should be able to give T1 a lot of map control. Thompson's going to take a T2 tower down bottom. T2 might be a little bit more difficult for them to take. They can definitely continue to posture aggressively, however, across the map, making sure they very much limit the farm that Polaris can get. Because now it feels like they're all in kind of the books of getting Natsumi farmed and potentially for this Arc Warden just to be a menace as the game gets later and later. He does have the Gleipnir completed, so first real big item here for the carry on Polaris.
I'd love to go for a little bit of a rat play. I mean, he's just got the Tempest Double popped up top, trying to force someone back, and they're going to see Cuckoo playing up here. They saw the Death Pulse, so they know exactly where he is. So I wonder if this gives them the emphasis to want to go for a kill onto Cuckoo while he's on his own. You've still got the Axe of the Skywrath Mage up there. They're just trying to bait him to go out of that smoke. But instead, it's the rotation actually coming up from Thompson and Ana. 2 XOG boys just walking in tandem. Holding hands, very romantic, but it's given them a lot of success so far, this pairing. They just seem to know what each other needs at certain points of the game.
It does seem like Polaris are kind of gearing themselves up for the eventual high ground defense. And the big reason why I say that is Lelouch, he's gone into this Crypt Swarm cooldown. I think we've both been really big fans of the other 15 talent with the Spirit Siphon damage and heal, considering how much it was truly buffed when it's maxed out.
Yeah, I can see a reason behind going that. I mean, he's been holding on to the Eye of the Vizier, right? Just to have that little bit of extra cast range for the Crypt Swarm. I kind of want to see him go into a little bit more... well, you don't really need the cooldown reduction, but it's almost the stage where you want to go the Aghanim Scepter, just to be able to get that little bit of extra healing coming off every single time that you're spamming that Crypt Swarm.
Final Xepher. Ah, disappointed, honestly.
So
I expected better.
I mean, they've spent a lot of time up top for basically zero gain, though, on the Axe and the Skywrath mage. We were talking about how they need to be roaming around and making kills. Well, it hasn't really been happening for the past 5 or so minutes.
Atumi is at least staying out of the map and getting his farm. Blink Dagger is going to be his next item. You kind of have to... I got a send blocking on. Yeah, easy gold. How much is it up to now? Is it still the same? Yeah, 240 at level 2. They're just on cutting shenanigans. Look at AU. Just recognizing this is... it's... the fact that they're in this position 24 minutes in, where you have your position 5 just behind a T2 tower cutting waves, just shows how disastrous of an early start this was for Polaris. And Topson knows no fear. This is up the high ground, just waveforming aggressively.
Crypt Swarm, they're going to put themselves up there to try and keep this one pushed out. Of course, Arc Warden, one of the best high ground defenders in the game. Not sure what this Blink Dagger is going to accomplish, though.
Nice use of the core. They're going to be able to blow him up. The coal is there. So they deal with the first life, and that might push T1 out of the base now. But they did commit a decent amount to kill it. Mystic Flare, not the longest cooldown, but it gives them a bit of a window if T1 wanted to stick around to deal some damage, but they've had enough. And that was a really nice play from Polaris. They kind of, they baited their lives on the Tombstone, recognizing that Ana was probably going to kill it up with a Soul Rip, and maybe Topson was going to jump, and Force was instantly there with the call.
Be careful with Natsumi's positioning. He's picked up that Blink Dagger for himself. I wonder if this is even just a way to keep himself a little bit safer in the side lanes, because I'm not seeing a ton of value come out for him, right? When you're just out there in the middle of a team fight. Like, are you really wanting to blink your real Arc Warden in on top just to be able to get a few extra right clicks, maybe that Gleipnir off? Probably not. They've got great potential to be able to turn things around onto you.
It might just really help, honestly, with a little bit of farming. I know that's kind of weird to say, but just his positioning, getting to camps, helping the Tempest double, get out to some lanes as well, and kind of cutting the waves.
Yeah. Being elusive was my initial theory, but it's like, I'm not sure how useful that's going to be. It's not like you can even go into the Arcane Blink anymore for the cooldown reduction for the Tempest double. It doesn't do that anymore. It's all about the debuff for the mana cost reduction.
So he's even got an Octarine queued up next, so just not going to spam out those abilities. I've got to imagine then it's into the Scepter afterwards.
You would think so, yeah.
T1 probably just going to wait around. Next Roshan potentially up in 2 minutes. Polaris are positioning very aggressively though. Going to bait Lelouch's life on the front line. He's decently farmed here from the Death Prophet. BKB Yule's plate mail as well, so it's not going to be easy to kill off. They can blow him up though if it's perfect from T1. Like a waveform adaptive strike instantly into the into the Reaper Scythe might be enough to get the kill.
Actually picked up quite a nice item here on Topson, just the Mindbreaker from the neutral camp. So that's going to be nice if you get in on top of the Axe, on top of the Death Prophet. Yeah, they both got BKBs, but if you could just force them to expend them super early on, that's going to be a big win coming through. And Topson, speaking of him, he's nearly level 18 as well, so that's going to allow him to use that a lot more frequently to go into, you would say either the Death Prophet or the Primal Beast would be two ideal targets for him to just replicate into.
Mid lane, AU. We'll be caught out. It's kind of the job of the Primal Beast in a game like this. Kuku was considering about using the Scythe, but didn't want to put that on cooldown for 110 seconds. Quickly, just want to mention as well, Primal Beast, what do we feel like about the Aghanim shot? I'm yet to see it. Is this maybe something that's a little bit more common on like position 5 Primal Beast?
It is. It's much more of a support item, right? You can't afford to go the Uproar. It just takes way too long to come online. The downside is, I suppose, that you've got... I guess this game you've got two other heroes that do want to go in first. That's not really the role of the position 5, but it still does feel a little bit awkward, doesn't it? Just to pick a hero like Primal Beast that feels so great when you're able to be that first initiator into the team fight, and he's not fulfilling that role. So I think they're just trying to paper over the cracks right now.
I suppose it could be kind of cool with like Force jumping in into Mystic Flare, and then all of a sudden now you got an extra stun on top of that, because they didn't. That's all the stuns they have. I mean, I'm not including the silence from Lelouch, so maybe you get the guaranteed call into the AoE stun. Maybe that could be a cool combo that we see from Polaris.
Yeah, but you got 2 Force Staffs already on the supports. Sorry, not on the supports, on Cuckoo as well as Whitemon. I would assume that after the Satanic, Topson might be looking to go into the Hurricane Pike just to give them another way to be able to get away from a lot of this aggression. So it's not like you're guaranteed to be able to get off all of these combos.
This does potentially give Polaris a bit of a window now, maybe to take a fight. Ana was forced to pop BKB thanks to the Tempest double up top, so they want to try and consider about smoking and playing aggressive, but it does look like Polaris are very content with the farm they're getting at the moment. The net worth lead is not growing for T1. In fact, it's slowly getting cut, but it will take quite some time at this rate to go back to an even game.
Just seeing what they're actually, like, what are they waiting for on Polaris? You're getting close to the Shivas, I suppose, on the Death Prophet, but it's still 1,000 or so gold away. The big ticking time bomb that I'm really waiting for is the Satanic on Topson. He's nearly level 20. They're going for a smoke now to try and catch them off before they feel that his next time is going to hit up on Polaris. But if T1 take another good fight, as they might with this hook...
Great cogs as well. There's going to be no assistance with him blocking off the high ground. An easy kill for T1 to find, and Roche is up now. So you're going to be forced to try and defend this on Polaris. Natsumi will try and put some pressure into Xavius. The clockwork will be okay for the moment. It looks like Polaris are just going to make the call to give up the second Roche. There will be no contention.
This Force goes for the hero play, but well, he actually frees up a spot. Not going to accomplish it. So again, like, Topson is almost unkillable, and he absolutely is going to be as soon as he just gets another half level. They're trying to scout out Force here, but he blicks off to the tree line. I mean, the other thing that I was worried about for Polaris, where I feel like they really needed to go for that kill attempt just then and have a successful team fight, potentially go into Roche, is that it's just going to get harder and harder. You've got a plate mail already finished up on both Undying as well as Necro, and they're going into Lotus Orbs. Like, how are you going to be able to use all of these silences, all of these, like, targeted spells super effectively if they're just getting reflected?
Maybe though the heroes that they have to look to jump at the start, but I guess how are you gonna catch them out? Yeah, there's one too many, and I feel like Topson, with the ages, he's got Satanic, Paladin Sword. He's just gonna put himself so far on the front line where it's very difficult to kill those heroes that you need to get at the start on Polaris.
Pretty much has to be Whitemon. You know, hasn't died a single time. That just goes to show how great he is with his positioning, never putting himself in this vulnerable situation. Again, it's not like the Necro or even the Morphling, well, maybe now, really wants to put themselves super far on the front lines. So for him to be able to still have those heroes that want to play a little bit more backline and play behind them safely while still getting off some great graves, some great saves as well with a Force Staff, it really just goes to show what a great player he is.
I do have to give a lot of praises to Natsumi in how he's playing this game. He took the T2 tower top, he just forced a glyph down bottom as well, and almost was able to take a second T2 tower. So they're doing everything they need to do to try and find a slight advantage in this game, but it's going to be up to T1 making mistakes, and we're not seeing it from them so far.
Even AU just trying to get a little bit more push happening on the bottom side, keeping them away. Oh, that's me. Just giving a little bit more gold over, and now you got that level 20 on Topson as well. So waveform attacking targets with a Satanic is just a surefire way to get back up to 100% HP. Add that on top of the Aegis, and I mean, how close are we to these Lotuses? I feel like that's the only thing we're waiting
Force
for.
Gets a jump. It's on to Arna. Looks like the burst gonna be enough.
All right.
Okay. Very, very big pickoff. That's thanks to the ward on the cliff. Around the triangle, they were able to scout out Arna's position. I was just singing the praises of T1, saying that Polaris were doing a really good job to pull them across the map, but we were seeing no mistakes out of T1 until now. Arna goes down for the first time this game.
give any kind of streak over. He hasn't got a single kill up until this point. So could have been better for Polaris, but I think they're going to be very happy to claim that gem back, try and get a little bit of map control. But again, he's up in 30 seconds. He didn't pop any cooldowns because they burst him 100-0 as they need to. Like, I feel like if he doesn't die within that Mystic Flare combination, he survives. He's able to turn it around with his team as well as just his own items helping him. So 15 seconds away, you've got the Lotus Orb now on Cuckoo. He's almost level 18. But I feel like they've just got all of their timings that they need to be able to close this one out on T1. Minute and a half left on the Aegis. Lane's pushing in. He's got the Talisman of Evasion available to purchase as well if he wanted to. There we go. Full butterfly completed for Topson. How are you going to take down this absolute beast?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
See what the defense is going to come down to here for Polaris, because they are continuing to try and rat. Natsumi will take a T2 tower down bottom. This again, they're getting a little bit of gold, and this is something we were mentioning earlier though, Denog, like the high ground defense with Lelouch going for this Crypt Swarm cooldown, holding the Eye of the Vizier, and the potential for even the Arc Ward inside the base just to clear off the creeps. It's just so easy for Radiant to make it only the Morphling that's up here and without creeps to kind of protect him.
Does make it challenging, doesn't it? Minute left on that Aegis. Topson just wanting to put himself up on the front lines. They don't have any of that
waveform in. They get the call before the attribute shift, and once again, the first life is blown up. But how can they set themselves up for round 2? They need to deal with the Tombstone. Lelouch is going to be able to address that. They're committed for the exorcism for this team fight, though. And it looks like all they'll get is the Aegis advantage. And meanwhile, T1 will finally crack the high ground, killing off the Tier 3 tower.
Sound like a broken record, but could be worse. They could be losing racks off the back of this. They were going up into an Aegis and all of the timings being hit on T1, but they've just hit another one. And that's just as simple as Exo not being available. They go for the fake back. They want to get right back into the Cuckoo. Might reveal himself on the lane a little bit. Let's see how active they were out on the map. Now that's the level 3 Reaper's Scythe. They're going for the full wraparound. They want to try and catch someone out on their own. Cuckoo would be a very good one.
Oh no, he's going to move to the triangle. Xavier's might be in a position to pop the smoke and get out thanks to the ward on the high ground. Just on the outskirts. There we go. They'll see Zephyr, they get the jump. Mystic flows back up. An easy pick-off for them to find. The stacks, they're starting to go through. In fact, it didn't get the cull kill. Gotta be cautious though, because T1, they want to take the team fight. Moving on over. Cuckoo stuck on the high ground, but another 4-star for getting back down in our tops, and an aggressive waveform in. He recognizes as soon as the Mystic Flare is on cooldown, he's gonna have a much easier team fight.
I really thought that Culling Blade killed. Didn't you? I mean, I know it's on cooldown, but
as well.
Was that a result of the Lotus Orb being used from Ana onto it? Does that have any kind of impact with it, where because it's like using it back on you, it puts it on cooldown?
I'm not quite sure on the mechanics.
I mean, Xavier's got the kill, so obviously it wasn't the Culling Blade, but, you know, it did look like it to me.
Man, this Tempest double is pretty much full uptime now with the Quickening Charm and Octarine. So have fun. Very, very fun gameplay here. I can imagine this would be so goddamn frustrating for T1 to play into.
Oh, of course. This is just Arc-Water Gaming, right? He's looking to get that Tier 4 item as well. If he's able to get into a Spell Prism, that'd be even better.
Oh, does Daddy Gaben give him the RNG?
Depends. Have they bought the PA Persona?
Xavier's?
If they bought it, then
nice
maybe.
pick off. Be able to kill off the Sky. So as soon as they see the Skyth Mage caught out, forced to use the Tombstone just to give them some vision. But as soon as they see that Tier 1 members surround the Sky, instantly you see the other lanes getting shoved out. Natsumi to the top with the Tempest double. AU's going to be playing behind him as well. That'll give time for Force to be able to farm up the triangle. This is a window, a slight window. I don't know if it's enough for them to be able to pressure the high ground with the Sky dead.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I mean, it's just such low death timer that you don't want to risk it, really. Top lane's pushing in a little bit. You've got the Boots of Travel, of course, available on the Arc Warden, so really he's just waiting for that Tempest double to have the potential to go up top. Although, with the high ground being sieged, you do need the magnetic field to be able to defend against this. Could this be another one of those games where if it gets super late, we know what an Arc Warden is capable of. Just much greater scaling. I mean, you could be 6 slotted. What about 12 slotted?
I'm also now taking into consideration of what the build's going to be for Natsumi, because he's going Overwhelming Blink as his next item. We brought up the potential of the Aghanim Scepter. I wonder when he's going to consider about a Hex as well, because aside the Vice Versa, the Morphling is going to be incredibly important.
I mean, they had it queued up on the Skywrath before. He's going into the Aghanim Scepter now, but Lelouch, he's also got the Sheepstick, looking to be the next item available for themselves. So, I mean, it is, of course, very important to have that Hex. Can you look to go into something like a Linked Sphere at all for Morphling? I mean, he's kind of fully kitted out here. He's just gone for more damage right now.
Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made where Thompson, like, you kind of need to go for damage just because you need to kind of blow Polaris up instantly to start, otherwise they're going to kite the Morphling when he waveforms in. I think also the more damage you have throughout the call, considering he's got Satanic and Paladin Sword, he might be able to lifesteal through the Axe Taunt, depending on if Whitemon's able to protect him as well. So I think there's definitely an argument for both.
They're right there playing around. I mean, T1 have control over this map right now. Like you were saying before, Natsumi's been doing a really good job of just keeping these lanes shoved out. He's taken 2 tier 2 towers, just the mid one remaining, and well, that's next on the agenda as he's looking to try and shove this one with the assistance of the creeps, and will probably get it, to be honest, but they're still going to lose that Aegis. So this kind of feels like T1 might be getting a bit desperate. Do they just extend a little bit too far for this next high ground siege? Seems like Thompson, under the cover of the haste and the invis, wants to try and catch someone out.
Oh,
that'd be a nice kill onto Xavius.
The Force is nearby to be able to jump. Thompson, great reaction. Sidesteps as soon as the waveform, making sure Force doesn't get an angle. And now with this defense coming up shortly from Polaris, what do we need to see out of them? How can they successfully hold their high ground?
What do they got is the better question. I mean, you've got the Overwhelming Blink now on the Arc Warden, so he's just going to look to try and spam as many waves out as possible, level 20 on the DP. I think they just need to do exactly what they've been doing so far, right? But the thing is, I think T1 are going to be looking to try and find an avenue onto Xavius, just using the Rocket Flare to try and scout him out. He doesn't have the Aeon Disc anymore. Force them to use their Force Staffs a little bit more defensively rather than to go for kills, and then a lot of that damage potential goes away.
There's a potential for Arna to have double Tombstone in these fights as well, so something that could be very scary for Polaris to deal with. They don't have really the capability just to put all their attention on killing off a Tombstone.
Thompson's in.
Aggressive waveform form. He doesn't get the blink jump. Another hook shot from Zephyr. Perfect target. They catch out Lelouch, but the damage isn't there for the moment. Lelouch has an opportunity to turn it back around thanks to the BKB. No one's died. Oh my lord.
No one's died, and more importantly, they didn't actually pop the Exorcism, so they could look to go back in. They've still got a lot of this damage. Just the 20 seconds left. Rob, the Mystic Flare being available again, maybe just feeling a little bit more conscious about fighting around this Tombstone that I was trying to keep healthy, but is that Magnetic Field. They look to get this kill.
The follow-up's going to be there. Thompson, Force Staff in, waveform as well. Thompson knows no fear, but the hook shot! Zephyr! Cogs on 3, Scythe onto the Axe, but he's going to buy back. They're going to look to rejoin the fight, T1. They have to respect the base defense out of Polaris. And look at them not overcommitting. The discipline onto T1. They will not continue with the dive. They're going to back up as soon as they see the buyback out of Force and go for the objectives.
Rock Throw trying to do his best to push it out, but what are they waiting for? Maybe it feels like 30 seconds.
A double call with the Mystic Flare. They're going to try and blow up Arno. They're able to do so, but Force, that's a dieback on your Axe. That's all the initiation out of Polaris, and now they're in trouble. It's Thompson. He's still got the Aegis. A waveform into the middle, but the Pulverize into the turnaround. Thompson, he looks unkillable at the moment. Another Grave into the healer. They might be able to deal with the first side, but look at the Satanic lifesteal. Thompson back in fighting shape. They'll charge in. The stun control might be enough this time, but as soon as I say that, Thompson's back up to full health. They only tickled the beast, and onto the tier 4 towers they go.
That was without even the active on the Satanic as well. He was just right-clicking. That's how strong he is, along with that Paladin Sword. Might still end up dropping. You've got 2 minutes left on the Aegis, so you don't want to expend it, and yep, there we go. Pops the Satanic, full HP again. Once more, if you don't have the Axe, you don't have the damage, as Ana, he's putting himself out there. He brought back.
BKB.
can't die.
Topson
He's
is
got
going
this
to wait for
BKB
me.
up.
I wonder if they got the ages for another minute 30, so plenty of time still to stick in the base, and Topson's going to make another call to try and beat onto the tier 4 tower. Say no with force on. Without the hands of the axe, it's very difficult for Polaris to get that initiation. They can't even kill him, man. They can't even kill him. Mystic Flare, look at the voice line out of Topson as well. Very cute indeed. Polaris just butting their heads against the wall time and time again. But the Morphling takes the tier 4 down. The throne's exposed. And no one is going to die in tier 1 on this last assault.
Last chance with the
Force
axe.
is alive. That's an incredible jump.
The damage.
For the call. There's no damage there. Tier 1 sustain is too much for Polaris to handle. What a well-executed game 1 coming out from Dyer. The throne will pop shortly. Let's see. There's going to be an incredible jump to stall this one out. It has to be perfect. And it's only onto the Morphling. They haven't even killed off the first life.
He's still not dead.
Times I've said that through this team fight. Oh my lord. Finally. How can they set up for round 2? Instant Silence into the Pulverize. They might have the damage. No way. They finally get him. And AU's going to try and charge onto Ana as well, who's locked inside the base.
That's a dieback.
Dieback, I believe, on Ana. And now Kuku as well is stuck in no man's land. So Polaris, they will live
doesn't have
to
dieback.
see another day.
I mean, can they just run it down?
I don't think
all the way
so.
down mid? I mean, you got to try. I don't think you could look to withstand once more. All that T1 are going to do is play around their map, get the next Aegis, and run their faces at that Roshan. Sorry, not Roshan, at the throne. And just looking to shove as many lanes out as possible. They hold. They hold for now.
Yeah,
Look at the
I
lines.
actually... Yeah, they
Shove
drew
it
it
in.
down. I thought the Exo was actually still on cooldown. And in fact, Lelouch has this up, so yeah, maybe. You're right, Denok. That could be the play. I think
Got a
it
minute.
potentially is the only play.
They didn't glyph any of their creeps, so they've still got the defensive glyph available for themselves on T1 to be able to hold this off. Of course, you don't want to have Topson have to commit with that buyback for himself. You even just doing the small things like taking back the outpost, but you got to get rid with, got to get with the rest of the boys to try and shove this one in.
I will have 2 glyphs at least.
Okay. Axe as well for Xavius.
They didn't bubble the catapult.
You know what? It's fine.
Okay.
Mistakes happen.
Under attack.
Okay.
But they're probably not even going to get a tier 3 out of this. And there's a DD bottom, which Polaris have information about. So maybe this is a little bit of a fake back of their own that they're going to be going for.
So this is something that could potentially catch T1 off guard. You have the Linkins now. Oh, a couple Dagons as well from Natsumi. And a Blade Mail too. They definitely have the capability to blow up the Morphling before they're caught out. They need to play with the Reserve Ward by the top jungle. There is an opportunity now for Polaris, but you need to get the jump onto Topson.
And they've got well on Natsumi, so with all that amped up damage, everyone could just explode with this Dagon. Level 4, not quite maxed out yet, but it does feel like the time for the all-in play. They're clumping together. They're making sure that people aren't going to get picked off on their own. Topson gets up to the level 25, so just even more of those waveform charges to be able to play around with the juking potential, holding on to a really defensive item with this Trickster's Cloak. And this is AU's ward as well. They saw exactly where he was. They're all
They're
together.
going to counter smoke. Zephyr on the Vanguard.
Ooh, Xavius
Xavius
can't
on the
get
front
caught.
as well. Force in a position where he can counter initiate. They're going to get the vision thanks to the rocket flare. Force is a big target if they can jump in first to stop the blink. But he's out to the left side and now Zephyr's on the prowl. Moving forward with the jetpack. Natsumi's going to be in with the Dagon though. Forcing out an early use of the Aeon Disc and it will push tier 1 back now. Someone has to address this top push, however.
Lelouch doesn't quite have the boots of travel, so he's going to need to just quickly do that and immediately look to join back with the rest of the team. Roshan, potential for respawning in 5 seconds. That'll have all 4 of those items coming through, and I mean, would that be a big benefit for Polaris? I'm still of the mindset that this Exorcism, if you could get the Aghanim Scepter onto Lelouch, is going to be enormous. All the time that you're spamming out these spells is really effective. So you actually have the Boots of Travel coming out to him now? No, it's a Blink Dagger instead. Okay.
Who do you feel like he's trying to jump at the start of the fight here for the Death Prophet?
Gotta be Dazzle for mine. Like, you've got Blink Dagger and Force Staff now on Whitemon. You just want to try and get it on top of him, get that silence through, and force a Lotus Orb to go on a not as ideal target, I suppose. And even Zephyr's holding onto the Witchbane as well, so multiple ways to be able to protect against that silence coming through.
I guess even the Blink gives you a secondary option to even jump Thompson, because before it's solely been the Axe. And whenever, if they get the Rocket Flare on Force or even the hook shot onto Force, then all of a sudden he can't be the one initiating. But now you can potentially jump in and find that start. Because you were mentioning the Linken's prior for Thompson as a potential. He still doesn't have this just yet, so putting a lot of emphasis on the supports being there to keep him alive in the reactions.
Radiant are scanning.
Look at this.
Never say
They're going
die.
to see him under the ward shortly. If he goes for this next wave, they might be able to catch him out.
They should
It's a
see
big
the TP
opportunity
coming
here for
in, though.
Polaris.
That was the real Natsumi as well.
They see him again. He's on the ward. Force gets a jump. The Mystic Flare up with the burst potential, the chain control. It needs to be perfect. And they cut him down throughout the Grave Thompson. Out to the left. Back in with the BKB and the Morphling's okay. Now Polaris. How can they continue to take the team fight? They don't have the damage to deal with the Morphling. Now that he's back up to full health, Thompson can stand his ground. Beat onto Polaris. They've even got Ana nearby too. 4,400 health on the Undying. Just chunking down one member after the next. As T1, they survived the last attempt. And now they can walk it down to close out game one.
Yeah, he's doing his best to try and cut these lanes, but won't be successful. They're going to go for the safer play as well, getting that fourth Roshan. I almost feel like they could have been able to do this if not for Whitemon and his great positioning again. You know, the shallow grave into the heal with the extra range from the Psychic Headband. Force staffs him away, allows him to get off that BKB and the Satanic and survive. But for me, he's been doing a really good job so far this game, Natsumi, but he only had the Tempest double in the middle of that team fight. I know it's risky. I know if he dies on the real Arc Warden, the game is over, but honestly, it feels like if you did kill Thompson there, the game was over anyway. So just one small mistake, maybe preventing them from having that additional damage to be able to fully 100-0 that Morphling.
And who knows, potentially as well, Thompson with the Trickster Cloak was enough to that extra magic resistance. He went for the magic resistance at level 10. So maybe that was enough just to help him survive through the combo. Another thing to mention is we see the Scepter on the Clockwork. First time I get to see this.
It's pretty obnoxious how many rockets you're able to fire out. You're like machine gun punching people inside your cogs as well. The AoE battery assault, pretty cool too.
I don't know, man. We've seen some crazy things with Arc Wardens, but this would
be a little bit too much, I think.
Yeah. 9% chance.
9% chance? Really? Wow. I mean, I guess there always is a chance. Maybe once they reveal that this Tempest double's up top, they'll be like, okay, well, you only have one Arc Warden to be able to make this defense now, so let's look to make a play. Try and close this one out.
What is this Rocket Flare, dude? What the hell?
I think they're just trying to wait for this Aeon Disc on Zephyr to allow him to go in without as much of a concern. Now, even if they get this smoke off, they try and pick off a target, he'll have that defensive capability.
Brother.
They're hanging out Thompson, but
I don't know.
Man's got Aegis.
Let's see. They jump in with the Hex, the Dagon Burst as well. They might be able to deal with the first life. They'll drop the Cult, but the counter initiation's going to come out. Instantly, Zephyr's into the middle to try and disrupt them. Pushing back Polaris so Thompson can respawn and set himself up for round 2. As Polaris have successfully killed off the Aegis advantage, but can they kill him another time inside the base?
Do they need to even go on T1? Like, can they not just wait for a mistake to come out from Polaris? You've got Megas.
Oh, that could be the mistake. Xavius, he moves a little bit too far forward. Ana's going to be in with the right clicks. Tombstone dropped. And now with the throne exposed, T1, they could just make the call to deal with the buildings instead of the heroes. Ana, well, he wants more blood. He wants to stack up the decay. Protected with the BKB and the Lotus Orb for the moment. It's going to be cautious how low he falls, but the cheese giving the bonus health back for the moment, so Ana's going to be okay.
Throne's exposed.
They'll successfully retreat inside the base, but the throne's falling fast. The bubble will buy them some time, some valuable seconds.
Tempest double available again. Dagon 5 with the Octarine. They just want to be spamming out these abilities off cooldown if they can get it. They
the
found
Hex
Thompson.
with Wymon. Beautiful force stuff once again out to the right side. Thompson's going to be all right. They've been able to reposition. They need to keep their eyes towards the throw because it's falling low with the creeps.
It's exposed.
Thompson, he can just waveform in. A bubble once again along with the glyph. They'll kill off Zephyr, but they need more heroes down in the grave. Force is going to try and find an angle to the middle along with AU, but no way to protect the throne. Thompson, he'll waveform in, killing off Natsumi, who's got a buyback. But there's way too many creeps inside the base. Not enough heroes from Polaris to defend, and in the end, it'll take them 53 minutes, but T1 will be able to take game 1 in our lower bracket finals.
Talk about defense of the Ancients, man. Look at all those creeps at the very end of the game. They were just absolutely swarming over that base, and well, it was just way too much for Polaris to handle. They missed some of those super early timings, right? You picked up this Axe in combination together with the Skywrath Mage to be able to combat the Dazzle. Obviously, Thompson, he had a really good game.